Grand Slam dreaming. Get to know rising Aussie tennis stars, because these rising Aussies have been awarded Australian Open wildcards. 9 wildcards have been awarded to players to compete at Australian Open 2025, a group headlined by 3-time major champion Stan Wawrinka. Wawrinka will be joined at Melbourne Park, where the main draw begins on the 12th of January 2025, by Tristan Schoolkate from Western Australia, Lee Tu from South Australia, James McCabe from New South Wales, Daria Seville in Victoria, Alia Tomjanovic and Emerson Jones from Queensland, Talia Gibson from Western Australia, and Maya Joint from Queensland. More main draw wildcards plus wildcard entries to the Australian Open 2025 qualifying tournament have already been announced. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories, and our story is Grand Slam tennis. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025, the wildcards, and that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through the Australian Open wildcards awarded to the Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. So let's talk about Lee Tu possesses a stunning one-handed backhand. He's a South Australian. He was a revelation at the US Open in 2024. He qualified for the main draw and then pushed reigning Roland Garros and Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz to 4 sets. That performance in prime time at Arthur Ashe Stadium showcased Lee Tu's swashbuckling playing style and was form he maintained for the rest of the season. Lee Tu qualified from the main draw of the Shanghai Masters, reached the final of the Yokohama Challenger and hit a career high ranking of 172. And Lee Tu said, "I'm incredibly excited and grateful to Tennis Australia for this amazing opportunity. I can't wait to showcase my best tennis at Melbourne Park in front of the home crowd. I think it'll be a great way to start my career and set myself up for a big 2025, hoping for my best year yet." At the same US Open, Western Australian Tristan Schoolkate advanced to the second round in what was his first appearance in the main draw of a Grand Slam. He came incredibly close to the third round before falling to the talented Czech Jakub Mensik in a 5th set tiebreak and peaked at world number 167 the following week. And Tristan Schoolkate said, "I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to play in my first Australian Open main draw. I can't wait to play in front of the home crowd in Melbourne." James McCabe, he's from New South Wales, and he'll play the Australian Open main draw for the second year running after pushing American rising star Alex Michelson to 4 sets in the 2024 first round Australian Open. And the 21-year-old McCabe fell as low as 378 in the rankings recently, but after winning 55 matches and 2 ITF titles in 2024. Come on, that's just amazing. Well, he rebounded to the cusp of the top 250. That's what we like to see from these lower ranked players. And James McCabe said, "As a professional tennis player, my ultimate goal has always been to compete at the highest level and to showcase my skills on the grandest stages of sport." And quite an elegant young chap as well, it would seem. James McCabe went on to say, "Being able to participate in a Grand Slam event in my home country is a dream come true, and I'm incredibly grateful to Tennis Australia for granting me the wildcard. This opportunity not only means the world to me, but it also fills me with a deep sense of pride and excitement. I'm ready to give it my all and represent my country on one of the biggest platforms in world tennis." Now, there's already been 2 main draw wildcards at the Australian Open 2025 awarded. That is to China's Zhang, Shuai, and from Thailand, Kasidit, Samrej. They both won the Australian Open Asia-Pacific Wildcard Play-off. So stick around with this Australian Open Life. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025, the wildcards. And that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open at Melbourne Park. Produced by Wise Words Media. This Australian Open Life, we're based in Melbourne, Australia, bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis and all things Melbourne, all things Australian Open 2025. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day, thanks for joining us at this Australian Open Life. Very pleased to have your company today as we go through the Australian Open wildcards awarded to the Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. Now, we've left hopefully the best till last. We're going to talk about former world #1 and Grand Slam winner, three-time major champion Stan Wawrinka. Now, Stan Wawrinka has very fond memories of the Australian Open, winning the title in 2014 in what was his first Grand Slam triumph. He peaked at world #3. Oh, did I say world #1? Bit of an error. He peaked at world #3 with that victory that year at the Australian Open and later added major titles at Roland Garros in 2015 and the 2016 US Open. And would you believe, Stan Wawrinka, he's 39, and the Swiss star, I think it's pretty common knowledge, he's battled injuries in recent years, but did manage to progress to the quarterfinals at the Australian Open in 2020 for the 5th time. And that was his last appearance in a major quarterfinal. And Stan says, I'm incredibly grateful to receive a wildcard into the Australian Open 2025. Melbourne holds such a special place in my heart. It's where I won my first Grand Slam. It's one of the great milestones of my career. The city, the people, the loud fans, the electric atmosphere make the Australian Open so special to me, and I'm really looking forward to getting back on court in Melbourne. And of course, Stan Wawrinka, a fan favourite. He's known for his stunning one-handed backhand, and he's joined in the main draw, of course. We've just gone through them by those rising Aussie tennis stars. And that's what we love at this Australian Open Life. We like seeing, keeping track of the players who are coming through. Don't go away, we'll be right back. That about wraps it up for this episode of the Spotlight series, focusing on the wildcards awarded at the Australian Open 2025. So stick around with this Australian Open Life. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Spotlight series. We're shining a spotlight on the rising Australian stars at the Australian Open 2025. The wildcards, Aussies, the rising young stars with Grand Slam dreams ahead of them. You've been listening to me, it's the bloke who walks. This Australian Open Life is produced by Wise Words Media. We're based in Melbourne, Australia, bringing you all things Australian Open, the sights, sounds, summer of tennis at the Australian Open 2025. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye for now. welcome to this Australian Open Live. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam Tennis, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, Melbourne Park, produced by Wise Words Media. This Australian Open Live, we're based in Melbourne, Australia. We'll be bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis, qualifying news, live tournament match play, audio only, radio style commentary, and the tournament kicks off in mid-January 2024. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Hang on a second, did we say there's other information about ground passes? Yes, there is. Now, you can also find 7-day ground passes between the 22nd and the 28th of January only, and we won't run through all the benefits there, but if you're willing to part with 139 Australian dollars, you'll get great value there. So I guess that's for the hardcore tennis fans that know that they definitely want to be going every day to the Australian Open. That is an expensive week if you're not taking your own food as well. But all this information is on the Australian Open website. It is ausopen.com/ticket-info. And once you go to that website for the Australian Open, you'll be taken through and you'll be able to just look for the, it's right up there on the top of the page, ground passes, and you'll be able to get your tickets there, and you'll be able to find tickets and get more information as you need them. But the ground passes, to finish off, that'll take you on an iconic Melbourne Park adventure, and you can explore the incredible world of food and beverages and entertainment on Grand Slam Oval. You can catch up with the tennis up close in Kia Arena and the Western Courts, all the show courts. There's some great show courts on the outdoors there, and some really great viewing areas. And you don't have to, all you need is just to be able to find a seat, unreserved seating only, of course, and they're available there for you to book. This Australian Open Live is produced by Wise Words Media. We're based in Melbourne, Australia. We are the experts about all things Melbourne, all things Melbourne Park, and all things Australian Open 2024. So stick around with us during the Australian Open 2024. We'll be bringing you live match commentary, audio only, radio style commentary throughout the first week of the Australian Open, and as we get into the second week, and we'll be picking and choosing some of our favourite upcoming matches with some of the lesser known players. We like focusing on the wildcards and those outside the top 100, the qualifiers, those that get through, and we like following the lesser known players and bringing a little bit of colour to the Australian Open for you. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and bye for now.